Okay, so now your custom name servers are all set up. So GoDaddy knows that your site is being hosted elsewhere and it's pointing already to your HostGator hosting site. So let's go ahead and set up your domain from the HostGator side as well as get WordPress up and running and get you ready to start designing up your theme. So inside of your same welcome email, you should have gotten your cPanel URL. Let's go ahead and copy this. You're going to paste it into your browser. You're going to get to your home screen like this, and this is what you get after you hit enter from that URL. Go back to your email and grab your username. When you set up your actual HostGator site, you should have entered a password that you wanted to utilize for your cPanel login. If you don't remember that password, that's a-okay. Just take your username, enter it here, and then click on reset password, follow the directions, and get yourself reset up. Come back to this page once you're done, and then click on login. All right, so now that you're at your cPanel, what you want to go ahead and do is you're going to scroll down to the domain section. And if you are setting up the actual domain that you registered your hosting account with, so when you registered for HostGator, if the domain you're going to be working with right now is the one that you registered with, you can skip this step. However, if in the future you happen to buy another domain or you have other projects that you want to host, because HostGator does allow you to host multiple sites, this is the step that you're going to want to go through. You're only going to want to go through this step if you're hosting your domain, you purchased it at another vendor. So if you purchased it at Bluehost or Namecheap or GoDaddy, this is the step that you're going to have to go through. So that domain that you had purchased that you just updated your name servers on, you're going to want to go ahead and enter that into here. So I'm using an example, one of my domains that I own. And as you can see, as soon as I type that in, I just typed in the actual domain name and then the tail, whether that's .com, .org, .info, .net, it will automatically populate your FTP username as well as your document root. Now, this is the only change that I make to situations like this. I always remove the tail off of the domain name. And that's because when I'm in my FTP or when I'm uploading files, I like to make things as clean as possible. So I want you to, take this into best practices. So go ahead and enter a password here. You want to enter a password that is easy for you to remember, but hard for someone else to figure out. There's a strength meter here that will help you to gauge whether or not it's a great or a bad password. Once you've done that, let me go ahead and put one in here. Enter your password twice, and then you want to click on Add Domain. After this, you're going to be taken to a success screen that lets you know whether or not it was successful, you adding on your domain. It's taking a little while here. Okay. And then you want to go ahead and click home after you've gotten your confirmation. Now that you're back at the cPanel, you want to go ahead and scroll down to software and services. It's this section here. You want to click on quick install. And what Quick Install does is there are various types of applications and software that you can run on your hosting. And this is how it's just a one-click install for WordPress. And it's like really, really phenomenal. And it's not something that you have to stress out over at all. Click on WordPress on the left-hand side, then click continue. Now, you want to scroll down and you want to find that domain that you just registered in your add-on domains, which I have mine here. You want to make your admin email one that you definitely have access to and one that you can store this email after you receive this confirmation, because it just has some information on here that will allow you to log into your WordPress site. So this is for you. So I'm just going to do one like admin. Your blog title, you can make this whatever you want. The great part about it is it's nothing that you have to decide on now. It's not make or break. You can change this at any given time inside of WordPress. However, if you want to just go ahead and put something there, so when you log into your site, you'll know which site it is and you can kind of get a feel of what you may want it to say. That's completely fine. Just know that you are able to change it later. So we're just going to say the Veritas source site. Admin user. Do not use admin, administrator, any of those types of names, because that's the first thing that hackers use when they're trying to break into your site. Not saying that it happens all the time, but after I'd say about 5 or 6 years of me utilizing WordPress, someone finally hacked one of my sites this year. And it's very, very frustrating because I have a ton of domains that I host under my hosting account. And once they got into one, they were able to get into others. And I'll discuss ways and reasons and how you can avoid that happening to you later on. But for your administrative user, just make it something that you're able to remember and something that, is not easy to guess. So I'm just going to say Verisource Jenny. For first name, last name, you can leave this completely blank. You don't have to put anything in there. If you want to, you're welcome to. But once again, you can change it within your WordPress. So I'm going to click install now. And you'll see the little progress bar here. Once you get beyond 1%, it usually goes really, really quickly. It's just the initial first seconds. And you're going to get a confirmation email as well with the information that's going to pop up here. So there you go. Now it tells you what your username and your password is here. You want to copy that password, and then you can click on your link here. I'm going to open mine in a new tab. And as you can see, when I click on that, I don't have anything here yet. And what that is that the site hasn't propagated completely. So when I try back later, it will usually be fine. So I actually could try to refresh it now and see what we get. It's still not propagating, but this is the end of setting up WordPress. Don't fret if you click off of the screen too fast and you forgot to write this information down. It will be emailed to you, as well as I'm going to show you one other quick little thing here. If you click on manage installation, say you're like, oh my God, there's no way in the world I'm going to remember that password. I have a million WordPress sites and I just want to make it something that it's easier for me to remember. You can always click on manage installations. Scroll down, and it's usually the one that you just set up recently. It's usually at the bottom. You can immediately change your password to whatever you want it to be, and then change password. And then it's all done, and it just says be sure to save it in a safe place. You will not get another email confirmation letting you know that your password is a new password. However, if you ever do forget, you do have a reset password link, which is automatically linked to that email that you registered initially, as well as you can just go on to your quick install page and change your passwords at any given time. So stay tuned to the next video. We're going to go through setting up your WordPress site.